All right, everybody. I hope you guys had a wonderful weekend. I know I had a good one. I got to hang out with Havoc and watch some anime and play some Final Fantasy 16, which I'm enjoying thoroughly. So I had a good weekend. What we're going to do is we're going to work on rendering the latest OC art raffle winner. It is from AftabAnimates OC. His OC detective Edward Michaels here. So I did all the lines and I did the flats and I did background. Inadvertently made him look like baby no money. Didn't mean to do that on purpose. It just happened, so it's a happy accident. So hopefully they like that. So what I'm gonna do here is I had some of the shading started here, but I think what I actually need to do is refine it. So I'm gonna turn this stuff off here. Actually, I'm not gonna turn it off. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna color pick it, and then I'll redo it to make sure that everything works out the way I want it to. So these were just what I had was just basically from the sketch. So this is the flats without all that on top of it here. And I'm going to turn the effects off for now too, so I make sure that none of that distracts me from working on all the other stuff. So let's go ahead and let's turn all of the effects off. Well, we can leave his eye effect on. I don't think that'll really bother me too much, at least until we get to it. So, and I got that and that. All right, cool. So now we can actually do this. So I did turn on closed captioner. Why is it being weird? Just gave me a message saying, "Hey, turn it on," and I totally did. So let me turn it back on. There we go. All right, now we can get going here. So let's see. Let's start. We're gonna do this. And I know a lot of gritty cyberpunky stuff, the cities are always at night, as they have in their original picture here, with a lot of neon and whatnot, but I wanted to kind of I don't know, avoid that and try different lighting schemes with this one. And it could still be gritty, but it doesn't have to be all super neon Tokyo kind of aesthetic there. So yeah, exactly. So let's see. But I mean, he is gonna have some of the lights is gonna be blocked by the pose and everything, but he's not gonna be super dark in the end. So that's the main thing. Alright, so we got the overall kind of sky, and we have the colors from the background. I've done a 10% color layer and a 10% hue layer of just literally clipping the background itself to the image. So we got that. So let's do our hard shadows first. So we're going to do one more of this multiply layer here, and let me put it on top, and then I'm gonna carve away where I think the light is going to be hitting. So we're gonna have the light coming from this direction. It's gonna be somewhat behind and somewhat on top, so basically kind of the top half in this right side of the image is basically where the light's going to be hitting. So I'm going to start using my lasso tool here to carve that out.
Where you going? Hey, be nice. Be nice. Be nice.
Who's...
If you didn't sit him, he was just clawing at him. Vita.
Cats are being so bad lately. I don't know what their deal is.
You better knock it off.
They really need to, yeah. They need to knock it off and be friends.
He doesn't want beans near the window, and it's like, too bad.
Yeah.
You had your window time, it's Beans' turn.
Yep.
Come on, Beans. Beans, come on. You get some window time. Come. Here you go.
Let's see. So there would be some on the back of his head here. And I don't have a reference for this lighting, but that's okay. I think I've been doing pretty good without one lately, but pretty soon I need to start finding references for these and make sure that I'm doing like accurate lighting schemes here. Let's see, and a little bit of this would probably catch a little bit of light, like right there. So we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna carve that, and I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna soften it up a little bit in some spots by bringing some of it back in with my airbrush. So maybe a little bit back in here, a little bit in there, a little bit down here. That looks pretty good. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to turn this layer all the way up so I can see a bit better what I'm doing. So I gotta fill that back in, and let's actually completely cover this area. Actually, this makes it way easier. I should have done this from the beginning. So do that. I use my brush to do some like detailing with it. Maybe I'll turn it down just a bit to like 75. That's a little bit better. So I can see the planes I'm working with here. I'm actually going to use the airbrush for some of this. So I can kind of control the amount that's being carved out here. So let's see. We'll have that. So some of this is going to be blocked by this part of the arm, but I feel like some of this here would probably hit. So we're going to do that. That it, like, you know, since it's kind of coming from this like upper right area, that it's going to hit some of this. Maybe some of the underneath part here. And I can actually use my smudge tool. That would probably work pretty well. What I'm trying to do. There we go. I can use it up here a little bit too. Yeah, I used to do the opposite where I would just, I would take and add like the shadows like manually, and I think this is actually a much more efficient way to do this, is to cover the whole thing and then carve away where the light would hit. Seems to work better, at least for me. Takes a lot of the guesswork out of like where shadow should actually be. And let's get around the rim here. This. And we're gonna have, of course, like different light sources from like the glow of like his like cybernetics. I'm gonna zoom in. Try not to zoom in too much because then sometimes you can get like kind of like lost in what you're doing, but I kind of need to see so it's not like sloppy. Especially with these cybernetic parts because they need to be sharp. We're also going to have a bounce light like underneath from the ground as well, but that's going to be later, so we're not going to worry about that right now. Maybe a little bit of this edge here might catch it. And again, because I'm close up, I can see where I need to make sure that the values are different from the different parts. There we go. Some of this edge actually would probably hit too. Then I can kind of blend out a little bit there. There we go, that makes it more 3D. Actually, in that case, I should get some of this edge as well. I'll make it better, make it sharper. Hey, Cora, how's it going? If I can get my brush to cooperate with the stroke direction here. I mean, this isn't like a super big file, but man, my computer is like acting like it is. Oh, let's see, I got some here. I mean, of course you can't see this from a distance, so I shouldn't be too terribly worried about it, but I'll know it's there. Nice. Glad things are going well for you. I'm glad this is turning out really cool. I'm glad I got like some variety, and I get to work on like some other like characters that aren't hot ladies. I mean, nothing wrong with doing hot ladies all the time, but I like to have some variety here and there, so. Gotta represent the bros sometimes. It's dude time. Exactly. I'm equal opportunity as far as like, like waifus. There's dude waifus, and then there's your standard waifus. So exactly. Let's see. I think some of this would probably catch some light. Oops. I need the plus, not the minus this time. There we go. Plus and plus. There we go. And use my airbrush again. So I feel like down here is probably going to hit most of it. And then it'll kind of fade as it goes up. And some of this edge here. And flip it the other way, that would probably help. Oops. I can hit the right curve. I'll make it a little bit sloppy and then I'll clean it. That's what I like about digital is like you can be like really loose and then go back and fix it, like clean it up. Definitely don't think I could handle pure traditional anymore. I'll leave that to the experts like Sally and Pensy. Let's see. I feel like this whole plane here, for the most part, actually, a little bit's going to be blocked by that. So what we're going to do is we'll take this and kind of carve it back in like that. And actually this will be blocking that like that too. There we go. It makes a little bit more sense. Want to make sure that there's like contrast on like the metal materials, like really high contrast. And I tried not to change like the initial design too much. Like whenever I do these OC arts, like I give it like my own, of course, like interpretation, but I try not to deviate massively from like their initial designs. So Like I could have gone in and made this like arm like super like extra like cybered out, but I want it to still like be recognizable as the character that AFTA came up with. At least the shape language, you know. I also kind of like that the arm itself, like technology wise, was kind of drawn like the kind of like the older anime, like '90s anime when they do like would do like mecha like cyber things. So I wanted to like kind of stick with that, where it's like almost low tech, and the fact that the shapes of it are like really simple. But not in a bad way at all. Like, you know. Like I feel like more like modern cybernetic designs are kind of like a bit more organic looking. Like if you look at like the reference here, like he's literally got like straight up like a spear for his like shoulder. So I tried to like maintain that as well, a spear, and then there's like a tube or a rod that goes down here into like the bicep area, and then you literally have like these oval joints around the elbow and stuff. So oh yeah, no, I feel you. I just personally I can't do it anymore. Um, I mean I probably could, but like it's just not. I feel like I have more freedom, I guess, with like digital to kind of do like I have like really like over the top like ideas in my head all the time. Couldn't possibly be because I'm a Studio Trigger fan or anything, but I don't feel like I could accomplish that with traditional means. Even though all their sketches are actually done like traditional. Sushio the goat. Let's see. I'm trying to think of more places the light might hit. Let's zoom out real quick. Probably get a little bit on the inside here. Looks like probably about the middle of this area. Might get some. Oh, yeah. I mean, for me, it's also like, it's really like time saving too, because, you know, I've got a lot of projects to do, and being able to use like the 3D models in Clip to set up scenes and whatnot, it's like super useful for me. So just a little bit right there. Probably should carve away on the thumb area as well so the values don't get like super muddy. Let's see if I can find any other areas. I think that looks pretty good there. And I got that. Alright, that looks pretty good on that side. Go ahead and save. God, a most action bastard. Yeah, exactly. Action, bastard, bastard beam. Alright, we can get some of his, like, beard carved out here. I'm also totally not biased that this character has a beard. Not at all. Some people have, like, slander where they're like, Aniki, you just like this character because he has a beard. And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. I mean, there's only but so many anime characters that are, like, worth a shit, too, that have, like, facial hair as well. They're all boy-ass boys. It's like you can't be manly, apparently, if, like, you're an anime character. I mean, they get some points, of course, just for, you know, punching, like, galaxies through, like, their opponents. So they can not have a beard. That's fine. But the Spiral King, he was a fucking man. Simone, grab my face. God, I love Gurren Lagann so much. So good. Absolutely, like, one of my favorite anime of all time. Yeah, and then jumped out of his mech to beat his ass. And his mech even encouraged him to do so. His mech was like, get your ass in there and punch him. Fucking Logon was like, it's World Star time. Like, this is a interdimensional Waffle House now. Like, alright, I gotta turn this down a little bit more so I can see the hair. I think real enough. Later. It's down and up and the back. A lot of stacks. Hold that up. Huh? I'll try not to, even though she's a jerk. Unless they don't give up now. We're gonna run this town tonight. Oh, I forgot Kanye's on the song. Kanye's crazy ass. Well, the fellas, hey, I got no cake. I got no spades. I'm gonna put some of the light catching here. Yeah, he certainly does. He's got like all 150 of the mental illnesses, like, not to make fun of, like, mental illness, but dude needs help. Like, really does. And needs to use all of his monies to take care of that shit. Also, that line was unnecessary. call a foul as a foul. Yeah. Let's say that the light's gonna hit a little bit more of the face. I feel like a lot of like my stuff I've been doing lately, I've had like the faces be a little too dark. So, oh crap, I had that on minus instead of plus. Have like this area kind of hit. Kind of like emphasize his detective frown, the Batman frown. Not as good as the Carl Urban frown, but Carl Urban is the king of frowns. I love Carl Urban though. He's amazing. It's funny, like as I like look up where these actors from, I keep discovering like the actors from New Zealand are a lot of like the actors that I like. So I'm gonna carve out some like highlight area. Show you this side probably has some more. But Carl Urban's very silly. I think that's why I like him so much. Very takes his characters and makes them like larger than life essentially. So I mean he's a big dude, so that also kind of fits. So they should redo the Doom movie and still have Carl Urban in it as the Doom guy. Because that first one was just so bad. I was all extra excited too because like I'm a huge Doom fan. And then I saw it and I was like, oh no. This is the Mario movie all over again. The original Mario movie. And then the travesty that was like the Spawn movie as well. That made me super sad. I was like, fuck. These are all things that I love so much. Why would you do this to me? To be fair, I don't feel like they didn't really have like the budget to make those like any good. Like especially Spawn. They didn't have like the special effects yet. That doesn't mean that the writing and the stuff they changed wasn't like absolutely terrible though. So that didn't help. You can have all the good special effects you want, but if the writing shit, the flavors of dudes, yeah. Yep, exactly. You'd have like the demons like shitting their pants like they do in the game when they're like, "Oh fuck, it's the Doomslayer." They're like, "I've seen a lot of frowns in hell, but none as deep and cutting as that frown." The Doomslayer's like, "I invented frowning." And they don't question it. the Doomslayer is a fucking G. I think I want some light across his nose area here. A little bit in here. Try not to make this too dark. Like, we're not going for like noir or anything here, so I almost did that. I almost made this like mostly black and white, and then just did pops of color for like, you know, it's like cybernetics and stuff. Like, could have been cool, but then I was like, nah, it's not what people are expecting from me these days. So I felt like that's almost kind of lazy because it's like, you know, not as much work. That frown of disappointment, yeah. Son, I am disappointed. That'll be like one of his like glory kills as he just puts the demon over his knee and just like slaps their ass cheeks completely off. There's like a master shake like explosion from like Aqua Teen Hunger Force. Or like an 808 like bass drop. And I'm sure somebody somewhere is like, I shipped that. That's my shit. You should put that in. Demon spanking, let's go. I'm feeling silly today, guys. I'm sorry. trying to make Monday better, you know. Yeah. Let's do some across the top here, because I don't want it to get lost in the background with the values. I want to make sure that it's like cut out. Also, so you can tell like what's going on with the shapes here. I had to get real creative with like the shape of the hair. So it was very, very wild from the references, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, according to the lore here, he was in the Biotic War, so dude should be a little wild. Alright, let's see. So that's pretty good there. Let me make sure I carve some more of this out. Man, I need to get rid of these like live tracks. I don't know why I end up throwing them on my playlist. Like sometimes they can be good. Let's see. I'm trying to think of where else we can carve some light out. So the arm is going to be... They're probably a little bit down here. song is so dirty. I love it. It's just so, it's pretty raunchy, so I like it. I don't know. I just, something about it. Like, Rocky Horror Picture Ho. It's like, god damn, alright. That, and we should have some of the, should have the hand block some of it here, so we'll do like the thumb is like blocking it. There we go. Got that. Let's see. So I've got the light kind of going a little bit there. Kind of wonder if I should do some on this side or not. Maybe I'll just do it like, I'll do like some light, like I'll just kind of tap it with the airbrush. Yeah, I want to make sure these values don't get like lost in the sauce. Give them a little bit. Yeah, I think that was a good idea. And I think the underside of this could use some. And outside of that, like that, and then maybe a little bit through here might be good. Just to make sure that this part isn't like way too dark for its own good. So hit that there and there. Hey Nefa, how's it going? Glad you can make it. Go ahead and save, of course, per your advice. And I'm gonna get some water. Tasty water.
Did you bring me a water?
Huh?
Did you bring me a water?
Hold on, let me. What'd you say?
Did you bring me a water?
Oh shit, I forgot to bring you a water.
Oh, okay. I'll go get one.
I'm so sorry.
What do we do with it? What was the hell for? You're such a hard life, little kitty.
Life is so difficult as a kitty.
Just being cute.
Alright, that looks pretty good. maybe if I hit some of these spots here. Hey, I am super happy that you popped in at all, so I appreciate it. Also, jealous beach trip. I hope you have lots of fun. I hope you're going to a really nice beach too. I know sometimes certain areas they don't really take care of their beaches, so hopefully you're going to one where they do. That there and there. Nice. Yeah, I hope so too for you. Yeah, I haven't. Oh my god, yeah, I haven't been to the beach in forever. I'm certainly not in beach shape whatsoever either, so I gotta fix that before I go to the beach again. I gotta get back to Giga Aniki. Havoc's just biased. She's totally biased. I also don't want to be one of those dudes like back in my prime. I could throw a football over them there mountains. Because that shit's annoying. The glory days. All the boomers and shit. Like, oh, if that was me when I was in high school. No, it wouldn't have been you. There's no way. You can just stop now. Peak lead poisoning at the age of 6, yeah. Critical hit. Yeah, that's one thing they can brag about for sure. Guys, I have the most lead poisoning. I can stare the hardest and the longest without a thought passing through my brain. You can't beat me in a staring contest. Only clouds. It's like clouds and misinformation. By the way, if you're a boomer and you're watching this, I apologize. You might actually be cool. It's just general my experiences. And yeah. having two boomer parents. So this is a huge generalization. I doubt that I'm like alienating part of my audience here, so. Alright, let's bring that way the hell down. That's way too much. There we go. It's a bit better. Make sure I save. Face. Let's see. Trying to figure out what I want to listen to. That works. Alright, let's see. So I need some soft shadows. Let me get my shadow color back again. Try not to go super crazy with this. Just trying to get like kind of like some shapes in here, especially with the boobas. It's good as we don't have to be really like complex about this. It's gonna be real subtle anyway. Oops, let me go down and make sure I'm hitting all of it. There we go. There we go. And I'm gonna turn that opacity down as well. Nice. There we go. And let's see. Try to figure out. Use this as the little thing I like to do around the shadow areas. Kind of want to bring some slightly warmer colors into here. It's such a stupid line in a song. It's funny though. Try not to go overboard with this, just real subtle. I need to actually go on to like the skin layer and do some like blush and stuff like that. See, even the band doing the cover agrees with me. Lurking. Do you have like a set of fake bushes that you like stick in front of your face when you're lurking? You lurk about. Warning, I'm feeling silly today. We've already discussed demon spanking. Demon spanking, male waifus. What else do we? Lead poison boomers. Reliving their glory days. The list of comedy goes on. Put some leaves on my sunglasses. Nice. I like it. You can't harm me. These glasses are Gucci. I love that meme. It's so good. It's so stupid. Yeah, 100%. Oh, I forgot to tell you, I found a Clip Studio asset of 3D a money gun and some like 8-bit like glasses, like the deal with it glasses. I was like, hell yes, I can draw memes with this. I've actually yet to really draw any memes, so that might be a new frontier I should explore. Cement myself as a silly bitch. Alright, so got that. So let's do some lighting. And I'm actually going to color pick from the background for this. So let's use this color here. That'll be our light. Especially since like there's so much of it in the background. Seems appropriate. We'll do the soft light source first. Kind of coming on this side of the head here. A little bit down over his shoulder area. Again, I don't want them to be as dark as I've been doing the other ones. Let's have a lot of the light kind of lighting up this side. That. Catch some of it from behind here. Make sure his booty gets some attention. That way too we can see like some of the detail work I put in, like with the texturing and stuff. So and let's do like we'll do a bounce light of some of like the environmental color on the other side. So let me go ahead and also color pick from that. We'll use this greenish color. Oh, ads. Okay. Shit, I'm doing that on the wrong layer. Seems I was interrupted by ads. But yeah, we're just we're going through and we're doing a little bit of a bounce light from the other side here. And then I'll go back in and I will also get the other light source and make sure that I'm doing like some hard light from that as well. Actually, we're gonna use the brush for this. I think would be easier. Question mark. Yep, I'm getting like into the eye there. But of course I will have actually some light from that. So we'll go ahead and we'll just put that on there while we're at it. And I'm gonna smudge out like some of this here and there. It's not super sharp in every area. And this will help like the character pop out against the background, but also still have the same colors present, so it'll look like he still belongs in the environment. That's important when you're doing like your rendering, your coloring. To make sure that they look like they belong in the environment. Not always easy to do. Let's see, his lip here would be catching. A little bit of like here on the underlip. And here. That's. Back it out to make sure it looks good. Some on the hair. And I think I'm going to use the airbrush a little bit too. Not all of it needs to be super intense. Slide through there. A little bit up here, just a tad. That's looking pretty good so far, I think. Let's give him some on his beard and on his mustache. Definitely want to cut this out from the other values so it doesn't disappear when I'll be able to see the shape. And I smudge a little bit of it out here and there to soften some of it up, since it's a beard and not like an actual like hard surface. Oops. I'm gonna go ahead and use this. That. Just kind of trying to put it where we should still have some shape representation. You know, honestly, on the bit, a little bit under here, probably all right too. Just super subtle. There we go. That. And then once I'm done with this, I'll have to go through and get the yellow light we have going on. Let's see, this material will probably be a bit more contrasty, so we're gonna have some sharper shapes in here because it's kind of shiny. There and there. Hopefully what I'm doing makes sense. Alright, want that to be more intense on that side there. Have it fade. And then a little bit of this. Because the tie is going to be blocking some of it. So I'll have it more intense over on that side. I don't know, doing the lighting has been like a lot of fun. Oh yeah, should definitely save. Need some more water myself. Oops. There we go, fix that. And then there'd be a little bit on this too, on this plane. Just a tad bit. I'm going to use this to get some of these details here in the folds of the clothing. That way they look more 3D. it's going to be a little more intense as it hits the bottom here because it's where the bounce light's coming from. Probably should have cut some of that off from like the belt buckle here, but that's okay. We're not going to worry about it too much. Let's get some of the booba shape in here. And this pocket, I don't want to neglect that as well. So we're just going to put some slight light in there. Alright, so we need intense light on this because it's metal. So we're going to use our brush for this. And we can make it kind of like swirly and stuff. I was just kind of like trying to imply that there's something ornate on his buckle here. I'm going to get a little bit around the edges of where the belt has little holes. Like that. And then this is also going to be, I want to make sure his gun down here kind of stands out. That also would be like high contrast. So let's put like some like shiny areas on it so it doesn't get lost in the values when we start shuffling them around. That. I think it's kind of cool that he has like an old school like revolver on top of his like cyber arm that can turn into like a Mega Man gun. He is perfectly prepared for any situation. If I run out of energy, I got this. Like, I kind of imagine a character like this probably has like a name for his gun. Yeah, exactly. I can have that like that. Like, even though this part like isn't like the focal point of the image, I want to make sure that there's still parts of it that should get some attention here. So let's do down here. We'll get like his knuckles and from his glove here. We're gonna do some hard hard light source, so we can still see the shape of it, because I have a feeling if I don't, then the shapes are gonna get lost. And it's like, why the hell did I take the time to draw it if that's gonna be the case? Then I'll do a little bit on here with the airbrush. And I think that'll have it covered. Like that. Yeah, there we go. Hell yeah, now we can see it. Oh, don't you lose my number, 'cause you're not anywhere, and I can't find you. Do a little bit down here. Just like that. Blinding lights. Morning down the street. On the shadows and into the night. Billy, Billy, don't you lose my number. Not like a super Phil Collins fan or anything, but definitely like this song is catchy and it gets stuck in my head. I was watching VTuber Atlas Anarchy, and she was playing some Phil Collins, and I was like, oh shit, I forgot all about Phil Collins. Plus, this is a cover from Dan Avidan, so makes me like it more. There we go. We can see some more detail in the pants. I didn't want that to get lost either. I'm going to kind of follow the pleat line here, since I took the time to draw it. And I can't find you. If I can hit this line, there we go. And then there's one through here. Make sure I save. Alright, that's probably pretty good for the green. Let me get that yellow again that I was working with. Excuse me. Don't you lose my number? I'm not anywhere. Then I can't find you. Yeah. Just kind of following like where I carved out the light earlier. Use that as like a guide. Maybe not quite as intense up there. Oops. Kind of bring that back in a little bit there. new to stay alive with flames burning. That. Kind of intense around here because we want the brightness and like the saturation to be higher, as closer to the point of interest, which is the face. So we can kind of do like a little rim light action going on here too. I'm gonna make sure all of this on the head is nice and bright. And I'm going to kind of smudge some of it out a little bit here and there. We're going to fix how pale he is when I go back to the skin layer in just a little bit. There are some areas on the face where I don't want it to be quite as intense. Just like immediately walking back what I said about things being saturated. Let's kind of go around where I carved out. I'll just do it more intense on this side. Oh, you know what? I think my color got messed up a little bit there. There we go. Kind of make it nice and bright over here. And we can do this. We'll do it a little more subtle over here since it's farther away from the light source. Just kind of like that. I'm going to do around here pretty intense because we're also going to have the light from his cyber eye. I also want to draw a lot of attention to the eye. Where's the thing? Oh, here we go. That's what I need. No, I need the freaking soft brush. How did my thing get messed up? What happened? Did something get pulled out? Confused. Why are you doing this to me, Clip? Oh, color mixing. Why is that above that? I don't care about that. I don't use that at all. One of these days I'll learn how to use it, but right now I don't know how it works, so I'm not going to mess with it. gonna try to follow where I carved out before. I could technically just select it from the layer. That might actually be a little easier. You know what, let's go ahead and do that actually. So, and then invert. Oh man, that's actually a lot easier. I should have been doing that to begin with. Keep forgetting about doing that. There we go. Now I can control the intensity and everything. Especially in here with the metallic surfaces. Make these really intense. Can't believe I was making it harder on myself there. Like a dummy. There we go. Hell yeah. That was way easier than what I was doing. So I'm going to slightly blur it. And then we're going to bring it down. Duplicate. Glow dodge. Blur that a lot because glow dodge is really intense. And then we'll do add glow. And we're also going to bring down the intensity quite a bit on that. All right, that's pretty good. Save. I want to do like an overlay layer with some more of this. We'll do like an orangey color here. Kind of get like the light in here to warm things up a bit. Oops, it's a little intense. Especially in this area here, we're going to have a lot of the light affecting here. That, and then I think I want to get a cool color for the background, but we're gonna select a different one this time. We're gonna get one of these like lighter colors like that. And then kind of brush it in on this side. I gotta remember to do these handcuffs too, because those are on a separate layer. Get this side of the metal. There we go. And I'm gonna bring that down quite a bit. Glow dodge. And I'll turn that down to like 10%. There we go. Nice. Save real quick. Alright, so let's see here. Let's get a gradient map. Kind of has aspects of the colors of the background. So let me look through. Want like some blues and some yellows and a little bit of green. What about that? It's kind of close. This one, and the mint's kind of close too, but it's really bright. Maybe we can adjust that though. Soft light. And maybe bring it down to like 50% ish here. Let's try that other one that I saw. Maybe I'll mess with a couple of them and see which one works out the best. Turquoise works a little bit better. Looks like I need to get one that's like slightly darker or even lighter actually. I don't know. Let me play and we'll figure it out. Because I am going to go in with my tone curve and do some adjustments. And then some of these individual parts are going to get their own gradient map as well. So gotta keep that in mind because this is just the overall. It's easy to overdo things, so I gotta be careful. That actually looks kind of good. Kind of like that. Yeah, we're gonna stick with that one there. And what I'll do is I'll come back to the tone curve, I think, after I do some of this other stuff. So let me save. And then let me go into some of these like individual things here. So the skin definitely needs some blush. And I need some different music. Ooh, I do like this song. Alright, what was I doing? Oh yeah, blush. Haha, ha ha ha. Alright. Now we're gonna make sure it looks like his skin isn't dead. Fairly sure this dude survived his bionic war experience. So we're gonna kind of go through here. His nose, his ear, right there, kind of like around his lip area a little bit. Definitely want like around the cheeks and the eyes here. A little bit on his forehead. His Adam's apple area. There isn't like a super crazy amount of skin here that's showing, so we're just gonna kind of do this number. Now what I usually do is I duplicate that with a hard light layer. There we go, that warmed up his skin a good amount already. So let me find a skin gradient map that I like. Because gradient maps are great. Let's see. Find one that works well with his That kind of looks good already. I don't know. Let's do that, and I like to turn them to soft light. It's maybe fine. Let's see. Gives them a little bit more warmth. Not this one. It's a little too dark. I don't think his skin would be that dark. Especially from his reference series, not exactly super tan. I don't know, maybe the first one I had was good. I'm thinking we're gonna use this one. I think that'll work better. Gives him a little bit more warmth to his skin. I'm gonna hit that with a little bit of, well, actually there's no tones to really hit on that. I have to do an overall tone thing. So that's probably good for the skin right now. And I'm gonna put the same gradient map on his eye white. And he is actually gonna need some additional shading a little bit on some of these parts. So we're gonna do that. Just so we have like some material variety, I guess would be a good way to put it. So we're gonna do that. And then we're gonna carve out light areas. Like that. And again, we're at a point here where I got to make sure that I'm not overdoing any particular thing. Because I could very well mess it up. So 15%. Duplicates. Maybe actually turn these down to about 10%. Probably be better. There we go. Then he gets a little bit of soft shadowing for the shape. Just a little bit across here. Oops, if I use the right thing here. And we'll also turn that down 10%. And we'll build it back up. But stuff like this is where you get like that, you get that real like differences when you go in and you do the things that really bring things, make them pop and bring them out. Kind of do some stuff with the eyes here to make them a little more interesting. That, and let's blur it like that. Alright, so let's also give him a little Well, I can do eye shinies at the end, actually. So we'll worry about that later. So we got that one. So now we need some stuff on the cyber eye here. And I'm going to do screen because it's already pretty dark. I just want to show that there's like a actual shape and variety to his eyeball here. So we're going to kind of do this. So we're going to do the opposite. Instead of doing where we're carving out light, we're going to be adding some light. Oops, that's actually carving it out. I did the exact opposite of what I was just saying I was going to do. That. Oh, and I'm doing it all in the wrong fucking layer too. That doesn't help. Alright. Let's go ahead and let's just make that all the same. And now we could do what I was attempting to do. There we go. I was wondering why it didn't look like very prominent. It's like this is supposed to be a screen layer. Bring that down and then duplicate. We'll do lighten. And we'll blur it a bit. I like this one. Alright, so we got that. Let's do some overlay. We're going to start putting some of the color from his like eye in here. Let's actually do this. When you what you needed was now I'm wrong. Glue dodge. Gaussian blur, we'll do like 10. Alright, now we need the actual light from his eye, so we'll do hard light. Like that. Oops. Like this. Blend it out a little bit. Over here, like that. Alright, let's turn that down. Duplicate as glow dodge. Blur it out. turn that down just a bit. And then there is a gradient map I want to use for this. Usually looks pretty good. Soft light. And then do a tone curve, back it out, and we're going to lighten this up a good amount. Because I want to be able to see like the details of the eye there. There we go, that's looking better. Alright, so I think that looks good, so I'm going to merge that. We're going to hit it with some chromatic aberration. Well, actually, let me duplicate it again because I need 2 layers for that. And not that much. That's too much. Let's do 20. Oh, it's kind of going outside of the thing. Maybe I should not do that. Well, actually, you know what? If I do this, I can still do it. I was like, why is it going outside? I don't want that. Alright, that should be good now. By the way, I thought this little floaty thing would be cool. Like, it's like a little holographic display that, like, you know, he's nearby, like the suspect that he's like tracking down, since he's a detective. All right, let's see if we can make his other eye a little more interesting as well. We're basically just doing, like, you know, the final detail work of things here. So we're going to do that. We're going to hue shift it and desaturate it a little bit. That. And then kind of carve out some of this. That. I'm kind of hoping that I can finish this up today, but if I can't, like if I get too close to time, because Havoc does have a meeting at 4, I can always finish it up tomorrow. No biggie. We're getting there, though. Alright. Kind of want to put some... His eyes are actually kind of gray, so I kind of want to put like some like silverish kind of deal going on here. Let's make it a little bit more interesting. That way his like cyber eye doesn't get all the attention. Cool as it is. Was the grass when I was asking for it? Let's blend that out a little bit, like that. That. Duplicate. Let's do glow dodge, and we're gonna blur that out so it's not quite as intense. There we go. Now we can at least see both of his eyes. And I'm going to find a gradient map for this that works. I'm kind of thinking got like some like moon ones here that might be cool. Space. That looks kind of good. We'll see how this looks. And then I can take a tone curve and I can lighten it up. And then we can see it from a distance there. And then I think I might desaturate it just a little bit. I don't want it to be too blue. Since the reference's eyes are kind of gray. Let's go ahead and merge that. Duplicate. Duplicate. And we'll do our chromatic aberration and lighten. And we're going to bring that way down. There we go. I think that looks good. Back it out for a minute here, make sure it's still looking good. Save. And I think this is probably just good by itself as it is. What we're going to do is we're going to hit it with a multiply here so it's a little darker. And I'm going to blur it just a bit. And I think that works just fine for what it is. I don't think we need like any extra details in there, because if we do, it'll get rid of the effects. I don't want that. Alright, I pretty much already have the light and shadow on all of this, so I think that's good too. Shirt, I don't think that needs anything. I mean, I guess I could add some more shadow to some of this stuff. Might actually look good. Let's do that. As long as my values don't get lost, I'll be fine. Alright, I'm actually gonna do a soft shadow first to get like the kind of shape of the head here. And we kind of have one like that. And it's going to be some soft shadows over here on this side. A little bit there. Some in this area too where it's like that. I'm going to do this like super subtle so it doesn't like fuck up my values. Let's see. Trying to see where it actually needs any of it. I just need some hard shadows where the light's being blocked out from like the pieces of hair. I think that is all we really need to do. So I don't want to overdo it. That'll just make it a little more 3D. We don't want it to look flat. God, I haven't played Command & Conquer in so long. Game was a lot of fun. Used to play it with my friend. We would make like a pact that we wouldn't attack each other until we had built all of our like forces, and then we would just have like this insane like battle. And the screen would slow down because it was on PS1. It'd be moving at like 10 frames per second. Usually one of us would make like an air force and the other one would make like ground forces and see who like destroys the other's base first. It was fun. Because I always hated playing the game. Like, you know, I tried to play it on PC later, and like people will do the thing where they like immediately like rush you in the beginning with what forces they have, and it's just like it's no fun. It's like we can't get anything going. Like,
Don't you fall asleep up there?
huh?
She's trying to fall asleep up there so he can't look out the window. Don't do that.
Yeah, Phoebe, don't be a little don't be a window Nazi. Nobody likes that.
This is my window.
Yeah. Trying to hoard it. She's like, you have to pay the window toll to get up here.
Your window tolls, fuck you.
Yeah, basically.
It's okay, Vegeta. Don't worry about it. It's okay. You've had a turn. You had a long turn too.
Yeah.
Leave her alone. Leave her alone. You don't like it when someone's up there when you're up there.
Man, the cats have been in so much trouble lately.
They're cats. They're like fuzzy girl ones.
They're like, it's what we do. It's in our nature to be trouble. Oh, this is actually looking nice already. I'm glad I decided to take the time to do this. Gives the hair some more contrast. Makes it a little more 3D, I think.
Sorry, Vegeta, you wanted the window. Now go away.
If I can get these curves right. Is he over there pouting?
He's mad because I made him wait his turn. It's too bad. You brat.
I know, he's such a brat.
You brat.
Let's make sure I'm not going outside of what I want. Definitely need some in here. That. Oh yeah, this is looking way better. Let's have where this part is kind of blocking out the light. Gonna cut this piece of hair out of it though. There we go. Let's do like a shadow across there. Where else? There probably would be some here, so we can show the shape of the head is a spear. And this will be pretty dark too. Alright, I think that's pretty good. I don't want to overdo it. I'm going to bring down the shadows on it. I just want it to be kind of subtle. There we go, that looks good. And we already have some lighting on it, but maybe I should lighten it up just a bit more. So let's do that. You get that background light again. Grab that. And we'll do a bit of a lighten layer. That'll probably look good. Just a little bit through here. Like that. Bring that down. Screen, and let's blur it. That's looking pretty good. Now I can give it a gradient map. What's this? Soft light. Lighten all of it up pretty good there. Let's reset and kind of do a little more subtle. That's probably good. I'll make sure that the details aren't getting lost as I back out on it. Yeah, I might not be able to finish this today. I think I do want to go in and do some of the shadows on some of the individual spots. I'll make it look really good. But we're going to keep going for just a little bit longer. Let me check the time. Alright, so grab the base layer, gonna pull it down a little bit so we can do some more shadow on it. So I should probably get like the shadow from the head going here, kind of like that. Oops, if I can do it on the right goddamn layer. And then we'll get some of the shadows from this. Yeah, I think if I just do some, just a little bit here and there, some just like subtle shadow work, I think it'll look better. Oh my god, why is this music so chill? I like it, but it's too chill for when I'm doing. Let's see, so some of this would be like that. Try to make like the light source a little more believable here. Let's kind of do some for the pocket here to give it a little bit of some 3D form to it. Let's get a little bit of this. sure these have the shapes from where they're dipped in. On the folds, I should say. Oh yeah, this is making me look like way better already. Yeah, she's one of those kitties that'll purr and then bite you. It's like, I thought we were having a good time here, and they're like, nope, fuck everything about you.
And they're like bites.
Yeah. Chomp.
Hello, kitty. How you doing, buddy?
Trying to make sure that these have the right shapes. Say there's like a fold kind of there. And a little bit here. Don't want to do too many, but I do definitely want to show where the fabric is folding. Alright, I think that's pretty good. And we're going to make that subtle again. That. And then let's hit it with some light. We'll just do some lighten and get that from the background. It's like trying to play all the super weird Mars Volta songs. Can't go wrong with some Coheed. Oops, and of course I'm doing that all on the wrong freaking layer. Just kind of lighten it up a little bit in some spots. And let's get some of this. Let's get this color. Just kind of lighten up this side a little bit. Some of the areas. Alright, let's give it a gradient map. Also going to use this because I like it. Oh, it looks kind of good just on a normal layer like that. Kind of like how it's really like showing the pinstripes that I did. So what we'll do is we'll keep that as a normal layer. We're going to lighten it up just a bit here so you can see the detailing. Oh yeah, that's looking good. But I think I'm going to turn it down just a bit to like 75. About 90. Maybe I should bring some of this in, maybe. Now let's reset that. Because I'm going to do a tone curve over the whole thing, so I don't want to lighten it up too much. There we go, that's probably good. Making his vest look pretty baller there. Again, I'm trying to do the thing where I put some sort of pattern on the largest parts of the image. And lighten. Oh, having it like blurred that much looks pretty good actually, but I'm gonna bring it down to like 75. There we go. I think that looks good.
Or Mr. Disrespect or whatever. Dr. Disrespect.
Hell yeah, this is coming together. Alright, we can do some cool stuff here on the arm. And then after I do this arm here, I think I should go ahead and call it, because I'll go over time otherwise. I'll get too involved. I'll have too much fun. Alright, let's give this... We're going to give this like a lot of contrast and whatnot here, and like some cool like shapes to make it look more metallic. So we can like play around and add like little kind of effects here. Oh, maybe I won't overdo that too much. Yeah, we'll keep it kind of subtle. We'll just do a little bit here and there. Like that. Now we'll darken in there. You know, it is going to be lit up by some glowy stuff. That's okay. The little effects I already did will take care of that. And this is all going to be lit up in here, so I'm not even going to worry about that. So let's get out here. Oops. Why? Why didn't you work? Oh, because something else is already selected. Son of a bitch. Do a little bit coming up here. And normally this will be like, you know, if we were to do this the 100% accurate way, it would be reflecting things in the environment. But yeah, I don't have all that planned out here, so I'm not going to do that. But we can just kind of like imply some stuff. Yeah, definitely gotta call it after this. Especially since my shoulder's starting to hurt. I don't want to injure myself and then not be able to finish the piece. That would make me sad. Especially since I'm having fun with it. I try to have fun with all these. I mean, otherwise, what's the point, you know? You guys just have such cool OCs. Yeah, I think I'll at least get like this base layer done. And then we'll do the black parts and the rest of the image when I pick it back up again. That way too I don't like get burnt out and start slacking on any particular area. I don't want the quality to dip. So make sure you take breaks, guys, because that's important. Especially when you're like me and you have no freaking chill when it comes to your artwork.
333. Alright, who's messaging me? I'm just trying to like clear up my stuff before this meeting. What? What? What?
Alright, let's bring this down to like 15. How much time do I have, love?
About 30 minutes, a little less.
Okay. I'm about to wrap it up here in a sec. Alright, so let's take this. Select the invert here. And we'll do, let's do add. And I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to do like a silvery kind of color here. And I'm going to turn that way down, 10%. Duplicate. We'll do a glow, and then we're going to blur it. Blur it by like 30. There we go. That's looking cool. This. I'm gonna kind of just brush some color from the environment a little bit in. And then we'll do some of the yellow here. I'm doing that all in the wrong freaking layer. Oh my goodness. This shows how much I need to hop off here and so I don't mess up my background.
I gotta pee.
Oh no.
And then I gotta pull up all my stuff, and by then it'll be time.
Okay.
You got some time.
Alright, put some of this color on this side. And let's get a metallic gradient map. So I've got some cool ones in here. See what ones look the best. That one looks pretty good already. see how it looks with soft light. What about pin light? Well, that's kind of neat too. Normal looks good too, but let's try pin light, and then what we'll do is we'll go through these and see which ones look the best. That one's pretty good. It's a little too dark. Kind of thinking that looks good. Then we're gonna mess with the tone on it. We'll lighten it up. Oh, we do want some contrast. Actually, we want a good amount of contrast because it's metal. Do that, and then we'll really up this aspect of it. There we go. Now it's looking more like metal. There we go. I like that. Merge that together. Duplicate. Duplicate. Chromatic aberration. What you doing, Phoebe? And I'm going to turn that way down to like 30. Maybe even less than that, actually. Let's do like 20. That way we don't lose too much of that contrast. Hell yeah. I think that looks pretty awesome. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on some of the effects here so you guys can see how far we've gotten. And then I'll do a little wrap up. Make sure all these are turned on. And stuff in the background. Hell yeah, it's looking super cool so far. Let me make it nice and big for you guys so you can see it. And I'll turn my fat head off so you can see it even better. Oh wait, my fat head isn't even on. It hasn't been this whole time. Holy shit, I'm sorry guys. Well, anyway, you didn't get to see my ugly mug, but you at least got to see the artwork here. So this is as far as we got. We're making pretty good progress. I really like how things are going so far here. So yeah, this has been like a really fun character to work on. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. Words are hard because I'm starting to get hungry here. I want to thank you guys so much for hanging out with me while I worked on this today. You guys are awesome. If you're not following me, go ahead and give me a follow to see when I go live. If you are not already subscribed, it would help me out a lot if you consider that. If you like the type of content I do, that would be fantastic. If you're lurking or watching this on YouTube later, you're also amazing. I will be back tomorrow at the same time to go ahead and finish up the rest of this piece. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll catch